Humanity faces 500 alien warships, but an ancient frigate changes everything. Sci-fi. Humanity had never seen anything like it. The sky above the outer colonies was empty, calm. And then, without warning, 500 ships appeared. They were enormous, dark, and shaped unlike anything humans had ever built. Some looked like massive blades floating in space, while others resembled floating towers. Their surfaces shimmered with strange lights that pulsed slowly, as if they were alive. On Earth, the alarm went off in every defense station. Messages flooded every communication channel. Civilian ships were ordered to return immediately to the nearest safe port. The news came fast, and panic followed faster. People on Mars, on the Moon, and in the asteroid colonies stared at the star-filled sky with fear. No one could understand how so many alien ships could suddenly appear. In the orbit around Earth, the Defense Council gathered in the central station, a large circular structure that rotated slowly to create artificial gravity. Admiral John Carter, a man with graying hair and a calm voice, stood in front of a holographic map. His eyes scanned the positions of the alien ships. He was a man used to pressure, but even he felt the weight of this moment. 500, he said quietly, almost to himself. We can't fight them directly. Our entire fleet combined would not last 10 minutes. A young analyst, Lisa Morgan, stepped forward. She was only 29, with sharp eyes and a mind that noticed patterns most people missed. She tapped on the holographic display, highlighting small spaces between the alien ships. Look here, she said. They are not in a perfect formation. There are gaps in their lines, almost like weak points. The council members turned to her skeptically.
Weak points, one of them asked.
With 500 ships, that is not a fleet. It is an army. You cannot call it weak. I don't mean weak in the way we are weak. I mean it in the way a puzzle has missing pieces. Something about the way they are spread out. It's not natural for a fleet this size. They are waiting for something. No one responded. The silence hung heavy. The alien ships had not moved aggressively, but their presence alone was terrifying. Panic was rising across human colonies. Reports came in from Mars. Colonists were already preparing to abandon their homes. The moon stations reported families loading evacuation shuttles. Even in the asteroid belt, miners stopped their work, staring at the sky. Admiral Carter turned to the communications officer, a man named David Lane. Send a message, Carter said. Tell them we do not want war. Ask what they want, clearly and calmly. Lane nodded, pressing buttons on his console. A calm, steady message went out. Within minutes, a reply came. It was simple, almost formal. The aliens demanded unconditional surrender. Every human colony was to fall silent, and Earth was to comply within 72 hours. Any resistance would be met with total destruction. The room went quiet. 72 hours. Humanity had almost nothing to fight with. Their modern ships were small, fast, and advanced, but there was no way they could face 500 alien warships at once. Every scenario Admiral Carter had trained for ended in defeat.
Lisa spoke again. Sir, maybe we are looking at this the wrong way.
They didn't attack yet. They are waiting. I am Mary. Maybe they are studying us, or testing us. Carter looked at her thoughtfully. Even if that is true, we have to prepare for the worst. Evacuation plans must begin immediately. We cannot risk losing billions of lives. On Mars, Governor Ethan Reed watched the news feeds. Families were panicking. Children cried, parents argued over what to do, and some people refused to leave. He knew that Mars could not survive a direct attack. Its colonies were built for mining and research, not war. He ordered every shuttle to prepare for evacuation. Meanwhile, in a dusty corner of a military archive on Earth, a young historian named Clara James flipped through old blogs. Most people had forgotten the record she was looking at: old mission reports, long-lost blueprints, and files labeled with dates centuries ago. One file caught her eye. It was about a ship called the Sentinel. According to the records, it was a frigate from humanity's early space expansion, sent to explore distant space and lost decades ago. Some reports said it was destroyed. Some said it simply vanished. Clara ran her fingers over the dusty console. Could it still exist? She wondered aloud. Could it be somewhere out there waiting? Back on Earth, Admiral Carter called for a meeting with top engineers and historians. Among them was Daniel Ross, an engineer with a talent for making old technology work again, and Amy Parker, a skilled pilot known for her daring missions. They were sent to examine old blueprints and logs to see if there was any possibility that the Sentinel could be found. Hours passed. As Earth's fleets moved into position, attempting to create defensive lines around the solar system, the aliens remained still. They did not fire, did not communicate further, just hung in the void, as if watching. Every move humanity made was mirrored by an alien observation. In orbit above Jupiter, Captain Henry Collins watched through the observation deck of a frigate assigned to patrol the outer belt. He had been on hundreds of missions, but this was the first time he felt truly powerless. 500 ships, he muttered. And we have, what? 50? 60? Not enough to even scratch them. His communications officer, Maria Blake, shook her head. Sir, all the outer stations are reporting the same thing. Evacuation is beginning. People are scared.
Some of them are panicking.
Collins clenched his fists. We can't panic. We have to think. There has to be a way. Meanwhile, on Earth, Clara James had found coordinates in the old logs. The Sentinel was last tracked in a remote sector beyond Pluto. It was supposed to be lost, floating alone in the dark. A sense of hope grew in her chest. If it's still out there, she said to herself, maybe it can help us. The council debated. Using the Sentinel, if it existed, would be dangerous. It was an old ship, built before the great wars of humanity. Its technology might be far beyond current human designs. Or it could be completely useless. No one knew. But with 500 alien warships waiting, there was no choice. Admiral Carter looked at Lisa Morgan and nodded. I want a full search. Find the Sentinel. We need every advantage we can get. Lisa's eyes widened. Sir, that's incredible. If it's really out there, do it, Carter said firmly. Every ship, every probe, every scanner. Find it before it's too late.
The first probes were launched into the distant reaches of the solar system.
They scanned every asteroid, moon, and planet in the outer rim. Days passed, and tension grew. Humanity was holding its breath. The alien fleet still had not moved, but their presence was a constant threat, like a shadow stretching across the sun. In the darkness beyond Neptune, one small probe caught something unusual. A dark shape floated alone in space. It was long, narrow, and wrapped in a material that reflected little light. At first, the engineers thought it was an asteroid, but as the probe approached, its scanners revealed something extraordinary. The shape of a frigate, old but intact, with markings matching the Sentinel's records. The news came back to Earth, and Clara James and Daniel Ross were summoned immediately. The Sentinel was real. It had survived hidden in the outer reaches of the solar system for decades. Its systems might still work. Its purpose unknown. Could it fight? Daniel asked. Or is it just a relic floating in space? Clara shook her head. I don't know, but if it's out there, maybe it's the only chance we have. The aliens don't know we still have something like this. Admiral Carter made the decision quickly. We send a team. Amy Parker, Daniel Ross, you two are going to board the Sentinel. Find out what it can do. Be ready for anything. Amy nodded. We'll do it. We'll bring back whatever we find. Humanity isn't giving up. As the shuttle carrying them departed Earth, the alien ships finally shifted. Slowly, deliberately, they moved closer to the inner planets. Humanity held its breath. 500 warships were advancing, and Earth's fleet was nowhere near strong enough to stop them. But far beyond Pluto, in the cold darkness of space, the Sentinel drifted silently. It was a forgotten ship built long before anyone remembered. Yet in its quiet, ancient presence, there was a sense of waiting, as if it had always known this day would come. Amy and Daniel approached the ship carefully. Its surface was dark but smooth, and strange lights pulsed along its edges. As they docked, the airlock opened without resistance, as if the ship recognized their presence. Inside, the ship was larger than they expected, with consoles that glowed softly and hallways that seemed to stretch endlessly. Daniel, Amy whispered, this isn't just a relic. It's something else, something far beyond what we know.
Daniel's eyes widened. If it works, this could change everything.
If it works. The shuttle's doors sealed behind them, cutting them off from the safety of their own ships. Outside, the alien fleet continued to advance, unaware that humanity had just discovered a forgotten power. A power that might be the only thing standing between the human race and total annihilation. And for the first time in days, a small spark of hope ignited among humans. Even in the face of impossible odds, humanity had not yet been beaten. The Sentinel waited, and somehow it seemed ready. Amy Parker and Daniel Ross floated inside the ancient frigate, the Sentinel. The air smelled faintly metallic, but it was clean. Soft blue lights ran along the walls, pulsing slowly as if the ship itself was alive. Neither of them spoke for a moment. They both felt it. This ship was not just old, it was extraordinary.
This place is huge, Amy whispered. The corridors stretched longer than anything she had ever seen on modern ships.
The walls were smooth, with strange markings that glowed faintly when her hand brushed them. It's not like anything in our fleet? Daniel nodded, examining the consoles. Look at this technology. Some of these controls, they don't even match our systems. It's from before the expansion, but it's way ahead of us. Whoever built this knew something we don't. They moved deeper into the ship. Every hallway led to more rooms, more consoles, and more blinking lights. At the center, they found what looked like a command bridge. The room was large and circular. At the center was a raised platform with a chair, as if waiting for a captain. Surrounding it were glowing panels that displayed star charts, energy readings, and unidentified signals. Amy walked to the chair and touched it. Immediately, the lights in the room shifted. A soft voice spoke. Humans detected. Identity confirmed. Welcome. Amy jumped. Daniel stepped forward quickly. Did you hear that? He said. It spoke? Yes, Amy whispered. It's alive somehow. The voice spoke again. I am Sentinel. I was built to protect humanity. My mission is active. Daniel blinked. Protect humanity? You mean from these ships?
He pointed to a live feed from the sensors.
Outside, the alien fleet was advancing, moving closer to Mars and Earth. Sentinel's voice was calm. My capabilities exceed current human technology. I was designed to end wars before they begin. My systems are fully functional. Human control authorized. I am ready. Amy looked at Daniel in disbelief. Did it just say it can end wars? Daniel shook his head. I think it did. But how? What can it do that our fleet can't? They began to explore further. Sentinel's hallways seemed endless, but its AI guided them. Lights flashed to indicate paths, and doors opened automatically. They found a room full of strange engines. The design was unlike any human ship today. The energy cores glowed with a bright, steady light, and the walls hummed as if the ship was breathing. This is insane, Daniel said. These engines are powerful enough to move the ship at incredible speed. Faster than anything in our fleet. But that's not all. It looks like it can generate fields around itself. Shields, maybe? Or something more? Amy nodded. And look at these panels. They show every ship nearby, the aliens, our fleet, everything. It can see them all. Sentinel's voice spoke again. I can disrupt enemy coordination. I can prevent warships from functioning together. I can protect human colonies without firing a single shot. My mission is to defend, not destroy. Daniel's mouth opened. Wait, you mean it can stop the aliens without fighting them? How? Through control of signals and coordination, Sentinel replied. I can interfere with their command networks. Their ships will no longer act as one. They will be disorganized. They will hesitate. I require human authorization to proceed.
Amy's heart raced.
We could save billions. This could change everything. Daniel nodded, but he hesitated. We can't just activate it blindly. What if it doesn't work? What if it draws attention? The aliens might attack faster than we can react. Human caution noted. Time is limited. Alien fleet will arrive at inner colonies in 42 hours. Authorization must be given to prevent human loss. Human command recommended. Amy and Daniel exchanged looks. We have to report this, Amy said. Earth needs to know. Admiral Carter has to approve. Daniel agreed. Let's get to the communications center. As they moved, they noticed the ship had more secrets. Runes with panels and strange objects lined the halls. Some looked like weapons, but not in the way humans understood. They seemed to manipulate energy, space, or time in ways Daniel could not explain. Others were filled with long storage units, holding items that looked centuries old. This ship was built for something big, Amy whispered. Way bigger than any battle we've fought. Finally, they reached a communication room. A Denadag in a city on an island owl. But now, Daniel activated the consoles. The system connected automatically to Earth. Admiral Carter's face appeared almost instantly on the display. Daniel? Amy? You're on the Sentinel? What's happening out there? Carter asked, his voice tense. The alien fleet is closing in fast. We don't have time to waste. Sir, this ship, it's alive. It's called Sentinel. It was built long ago to protect humanity. Its engines, shields, and systems are far beyond anything we have, and it can interfere with the alien fleet without fighting them directly. Carter's eyes widened. You mean it can, what, stop them? How? Amy explained what they had learned. It can disrupt their coordination, their control systems. The fleet could lose structure, fight among themselves, or hesitate long enough for us to respond. But we need your authorization to activate it fully. Carter hesitated, thinking of the risks. How do we know it will work? What if it backfires? Daniel looked at him. Sir, we have no other choice. Our fleet can't fight them. The Sentinel is humanity's best hope. If we do nothing, billions will die. Carter nodded slowly. All right. Activate the ship, but proceed carefully. I want continuous updates. If anything goes wrong, we pull back immediately.
Amy and Daniel nodded. Understood, sir. They turned to Sentinel.
We have authorization, Daniel said. Sentinel's lights flashed brighter. Defensive systems online, waiting for coordinates of human colonies to protect. Here, all human colonies, stations, and fleets. Set protective parameters. The ship hummed louder. Energy flowed through its corridors like liquid light. Outside, sensors detected the alien fleet moving closer. But suddenly, something strange happened. The fleet began to slow. Ships that had been advancing in tight formations started to drift apart. Signals between them became erratic. Daniel and Amy stared at the readings. It's working, Daniel said.
It's actually working. Sentinel's voice was calm. Alien coordination disrupted.
Probability of human loss reduced. Defensive measures active. Amy couldn't help but smile. We might actually survive this. But the victory feeling was brief. Daniel noticed something on the monitor. Wait, some of the aliens are sending signals back. They're trying to adapt. They're intelligent enough to notice interference. Sentinel responded immediately. Adjustment protocols active. Counter-adaptations engaged. Alien fleet responses neutralized. Human safety maintained. Amy shook her head in awe. This ship of... It's like it knows exactly what to do. It's faster than them. Smarter than them. Daniel added, and it doesn't even need to fight. That's incredible. Outside, the alien fleet slowed, their lines breaking apart. Ships drifted in confusion, some even moving backward accidentally. The humans in the outer colonies watched in disbelief. Reports came in. Stations thought to be lost were suddenly safe. Ships that had been trapped in the belt could move freely again. In orbit around Mars, Governor Ethan Reed stared at the displays. What is happening? He asked. All our stations. How? They're fine. Nothing is being destroyed. Back on Earth, Admiral Carter allowed himself a small sigh of relief. Get me continuous updates, he said.
And make sure this Sentinel does exactly what it needs to do.
Meanwhile, Amy and Daniel moved through the corridors again, exploring more of the ship. They found rooms filled with holographic projections, showing the history of humanity's earliest space expansion. The Sentinel had recorded everything. Lost colonies, forgotten wars, even early encounters with alien life. This ship isn't just a weapon, Amy said softly. It's a record of humanity, its history and protection in one. Daniel nodded. And now it's our only hope against these aliens. They continued exploring, finding a room with strange artifacts. Some were tools that manipulated energy in ways Daniel couldn't explain. Others were small containers holding unknown substances that glowed faintly. Sentinel's voice guided them. These items are part of my systems, the AI explained. They enhance defensive measures and allow adaptation to alien technology. They are optional but recommended for full efficiency. Amy smiled. Well,
We'll use them, whatever it takes to protect humanity.
Daniel added, and we'll learn from it too. This technology could change human fleets forever. But first, we survive. Outside, the alien fleet drifted further apart. Their advance slowed dramatically. The humans watched in disbelief as the impossible happened. A single ancient frigate, long thought lost, had turned the tide before any shots were fired. The Sentinel moved slowly toward the inner planets, ready to act wherever it was needed. Its mission was clear, and its presence gave humanity something they had not felt in decades: hope. Amy and Daniel looked out of a viewport at the stars. The aliens were still out there, powerful and strange, but for the first time, the humans had an advantage. "We might just make it," Amy said quietly. Daniel nodded, his eyes fixed on the distant, dark shapes of the alien warships. "We might just make it. And if this ship is with us, we have a chance to change everything." The Sentinel hummed around them, alive, waiting, and ready. Humanity had found a guardian in the darkness, one they had forgotten long ago. And now, the real story was just beginning. The alien fleet was massive. 500 ships stretched across the void like a living wall. Even with the Sentinel's interference, their presence was overwhelming. From Earth's orbit, Admiral John Carter and the Council watched every movement, every irregularity, with growing hope and tension. Daniel Ross and Amy Parker were on the Sentinel, moving through the ship as it prepared to take action. The AI hummed quietly, monitoring every alien signal, every movement. Outside the viewport, the fleet seemed restless, their dark shapes floating silently against the backdrop of stars. "Sentinel," Amy said, her voice steady but filled with awe. "We're ready. Do what you need to do. Protect humanity." The AI's soft voice responded, "Acknowledged. Defensive engagement will begin. Human casualties minimized. Alien fleet disruption active. It's analyzing them, their formation, their energy use, their signals. It's like it can see their entire strategy in real time." Amy nodded. "And it's faster than them. Faster than we ever imagined. But 500 ships. That's still a lot. Can it really handle all of them?" Sentinel's lights pulsed. Probability of complete disruption: high. Probability of alien destruction: low. Objective: prevent war and protect humans.
Engagement will begin now.
The Sentinel moved slowly at first, positioning itself between the alien fleet and the outer colonies. Its engines glowed with soft blue energy, leaving streaks in space. From a distance, it looked like a small ship compared to the alien armada, but its presence was anything but small. Then it began. Signals invisible to human eyes streamed from the Sentinel. The AI used them to interfere with the aliens' coordination. Ships that had been moving in perfect formation started to drift apart. Some rotated in strange ways, others slowed unexpectedly, and a few even fired at empty space as if confused. Daniel and Amy watched in disbelief. "It's working," Daniel said, his voice shaking. "They don't know what's happening. They're all over the place. It's amazing. The Sentinel isn't destroying them. It's just stopping them from acting together. That's smarter than anything we could do." Outside, the human fleets that had been scattered across the solar system began to take advantage. Ships that had been trapped in the asteroid belt moved freely. Colonies that had been in danger suddenly found breathing space. The Sentinel's interference gave humans a chance to survive, maybe even fight back if needed. But the aliens were intelligent. Slowly, they began to adapt. Signals flickered, and some ships started to regain partial coordination. Daniel noticed the change immediately. "They're learning," he said. "Some of them are figuring out what the Sentinel is doing. They're trying to fight back." Amy's face tightened. "Then we have to help it. We can't let them recover. Sentinel responded. Counter-adaptations are active. Probability of human loss remains low. Defensive systems optimized. Human commands can adjust parameters if desired. Daniel tapped a few buttons. Let's increase the disruption radius. Spread it across the fleet. Outside, the alien ships began to wobble, their engines flaring strangely. Signals between them were scrambled, forcing their formations to break entirely. Smaller ships collided or drifted in the wrong direction. The humans watched in awe as the impossible happened. A single ancient frigate was controlling the battlefield without firing a shot. Amy felt her heart pound. I never thought we could get this far without fighting. Daniel nodded. It's incredible, but we can't relax. They're still out there, and they might try something else. The alien fleet began to send signals at a much higher frequency. Their ships moved faster, trying to coordinate manually. Daniel and Amy could see the strain in the readings. The AI systems responded immediately. Countermeasures engaged, Sentinel said. Alien fleet adaptation neutralized. Probability of human survival remains high. Amy let out a breath. It's like the ship knows everything before it happens, Daniel added. And it's learning. Every move they make, it adapts. Faster than them, smarter than them.
We don't even need to fire a weapon. The human fleet began to move more confidently.
Ships that had been hiding behind asteroids now took formation positions near Mars and the Moon. Earth's orbit stations began preparing defensive positions. All the while, the Sentinel controlled the battlefield. In orbit around Earth, Admiral Carter watched the screens.
It's working. They're losing coordination, and our ships can finally move.
This is unbelievable. Lisa Morgan, who was monitoring alien signals from the station, spoke urgently. Sir, they're communicating. I can hear fear in their signals. They're trying to understand why they can't fight properly. They don't know what's happening. Carter nodded slowly. Good. Keep monitoring, and make sure we're ready if they adapt. Meanwhile, Daniel and Amy moved deeper into the Sentinel. The AI guided them to another room full of strange panels. These controls enhance interference with the alien fleet, Sentinel explained. They allow adjustment of specific signals to individual ships. Amy's eyes widened. So we can target specific parts of the fleet if needed? It is not required, but it can improve efficiency. Daniel nodded. Let's make sure none of their ships can recover. Outside, the alien fleet began to split. Some ships turned back toward the outer system. Others drifted in confusion. The human fleets began to engage cautiously, testing their weapons. But Sentinel systems made the difference. Every attack was supported by the AI, every move anticipated. In orbit near Jupiter, Captain Henry Collins watched the battle unfold. I've never seen anything like this, he muttered to his officer, Maria Blake. We're actually holding them off. That ship, it's doing everything for us. Maria nodded. And it's not firing once.
It's just controlling them.
Amazing. Back on the Sentinel, Daniel and Amy monitored the changes. We're giving humanity a chance to survive, Amy said quietly. And all because of this ship. Sentinel's voice was calm. Human survival is priority. Alien destruction is not required. Defensive objectives being met. Daniel smiled slightly. This ship is ancient, but it's smarter than all of us combined. Amy nodded. And it doesn't even need to fight. That's incredible. But the aliens were not defeated yet. Some of the larger warships began firing at random. Beams of energy streaked through space, and small explosions appeared as some ships collided. The human fleet responded cautiously, using the confusion to move closer. Daniel and Amy adjusted the controls. "Increase shield coverage for all colonies," Daniel said. "Shields active," Sentinel replied. "Probability of human colony loss? Near zero." Amy exhaled slowly. "We might actually survive this entire attack without losing a single colony. It's possible. This is humanity's miracle." Ships drifted back toward the edge of the system. Their communication signals flickered with confusion and fear. Sentinel monitored every movement, ensuring none of them regrouped. On Earth, Admiral Carter allowed himself a small smile. "They're retreating," he said softly. "We might just make it." "Sir, they're withdrawing. It's like they know they can't win against this ship. And we have one Guardian doing it all. Humanity has been given a chance thanks to the Sentinel." Daniel and Amy watched the fleet drift away, exhausted but relieved.
We actually did it, Amy said. We survived.
Against impossible odds. And it's all because of this ship, this ancient ship. It's more than a machine. It's a guardian. The Sentinel hummed softly, as if satisfied. Its lights pulsed in a calm rhythm. Humanity protected. Mission objectives complete. Threat neutralized. Amy looked out the viewport at the stars. "We might not have fired a single shot, but we've won. Somehow." Daniel smiled faintly. "Sometimes the smartest way to win isn't by fighting. It's by being clever, by thinking ahead. This ship was built for that, and now it's helping us survive." The human fleet slowly regrouped. Colonies sent reports of safety. The panic that had gripped the solar system began to ease. Humanity had faced an impossible enemy, and for the first time in years, hope returned. But Daniel and Amy knew the Sentinel was still more than a ship. It held secrets. Technology beyond anything humans had imagined. And somewhere in its vast corridors, it waited for the next challenge. Outside, the alien fleet disappeared into the darkness beyond Pluto, confused and beaten, not destroyed, but forced to retreat. The Sentinel followed a silent course, keeping a watchful eye on every system it had saved. Amy turned to Daniel. "Do you think they'll come back?" Daniel shook his head. "I don't know. But if they do, we have something they didn't expect. A guardian. And now humanity knows it has a chance." The Sentinel's lights pulsed softly, its systems ready. Humanity had survived the first wave. And now, with the ancient frigate at their side, the humans would never be underestimated again. In the dark silence of space, one thought remained clear. Humanity had not won by weapons, speed, or numbers. They had survived because something older, smarter, and wiser had remembered them. And the Sentinel had awakened just in time. The alien fleet had disappeared beyond Pluto, retreating into the darkness of space. The humans stared at the empty void, hardly believing what had just happened. 500 ships gone. Not destroyed, not defeated in battle, but scattered and confused, forced to leave. Humanity had survived the impossible. On Earth, Admiral John Carter sat in the command center, rubbing his temples. The tension that had gripped him for days began to ease. Lisa Morgan, standing nearby, looked at him with wide eyes. "It's over for now," she said softly.
Carter nodded slowly. Yes.
"But this changes everything. Humanity isn't weak. Not anymore. Across the solar system, ships and stations sent signals of safety. Mars, the Moon, and the outer colonies all reported that nothing had been destroyed. Even the smallest outposts in the asteroid belt survived the threat. Humanity had faced the largest armada it had ever seen, and lived. In orbit beyond Pluto, the Sentinel drifted quietly. Its systems remained active, monitoring the alien fleet's retreat. Daniel Ross and Amy Parker walked through the ship, still amazed at the calm efficiency of its operations. "It's like nothing happened," Amy said. "Everything outside is fine, yet the ship is still active, still watching." Daniel nodded. "It's more than a ship. It's like it has a mind of its own. It doesn't just fight. It plans. It protects. It remembers." Sentinel's soft voice echoed in the corridors. Humanity's survival ensured. Threat neutralized. Probability of alien return? Uncertain. Defensive systems remain active. Amy looked out a viewport at the distant stars. "Do you think they'll come back?" she asked. "Maybe," Daniel said. "But if they do, they'll find humanity ready. And this time, they'll know we are not alone." Far below, on Earth, Clara James was busy reviewing the old records of the Sentinel. She had been studying them for hours, trying to understand the full history of the ship. What she discovered shocked her. The Sentinel had been built centuries ago by humans who had survived a forgotten galactic conflict. Its purpose was not just to explore space, but to protect humanity from threats beyond their understanding. Every system, every energy source, and every panel on the ship had been designed to anticipate attacks, to defend without destroying unnecessarily. "This ship, it's more than technology," Clara whispered to herself. "It's a part of humanity's legacy." Admiral Carter called a meeting with the council and the engineers. "We need to understand this ship," he said. "We can't let it drift away and disappear again. It's a part of our survival, and maybe it can teach us how to protect ourselves in the future." Daniel and Amy joined the meeting via communication link. "The ship's systems are far beyond our current fleet," Daniel explained. "It can see the enemy before they move, anticipate attacks, and protect us without firing a weapon. And it's learning. Every time it encounters a threat, it adapts faster than we can think." Amy added, "We've seen it in action. The alien fleet didn't know what hit them. They couldn't fight together. The Sentinel didn't destroy a single ship, but it gave us the chance to survive. We need to make sure humanity never forgets this. And we need to understand the technology. This is our chance to advance without unnecessary war." Across the solar system, the human fleet began moving cautiously. Ships that had been trapped in outer orbits returned to Earth, Mars, and the Moon. Colonies sent messages of relief and gratitude. For the first time in weeks, humanity could breathe. In orbit around Earth, the Sentinel remained still, watching the stars. Its engines glowed softly, and its systems hummed quietly. It had fulfilled its primary mission. Humanity was safe. But it remained vigilant, waiting, knowing that threats in the galaxy could return. Daniel walked through the corridors of the ship, touching panels and controls. "This ship is incredible," he said. "It's more than just a weapon. It's a guardian, a teacher, a protector. If we study it carefully, we might learn how to make the rest of our fleet nearly as effective." Amy nodded. "And maybe we can prevent wars before they start." That's what it was built for. Not to destroy, but to protect. That's a lesson we need to remember. Sentinel's voice spoke softly. Humanity must remember, survival is not only strength, but wisdom. Protective measures remain. Observation continues. On Mars, Governor Ethan Reed watched the reports from the outer colonies. Relief and hope filled his face. "We've survived," he said to his staff, "all because someone, or something, remembered us when we were in danger." Meanwhile, in the asteroid belt, miners and scientists returned to their work. Fear had dominated their lives for weeks, but now they felt safe. For the first time, they could focus on building, exploring, and learning again. Humanity was not alone, and they knew it. Back on the Sentinel, Daniel and Amy continued to explore. They discovered rooms filled with holographic records of the earliest space missions. Every lost ship, every forgotten colony, every encounter with alien species was logged. The ship had remembered everything humanity had done, and it was teaching them silently. "This ship is more than a guardian," Amy said softly. "It's a memory of humanity. It remembers the past so we can survive the future." Daniel nodded. "And maybe it's telling us we don't have to fight every war, that survival doesn't mean destruction. We have the chance to grow smarter." Sentinel's lights pulsed in agreement. Humanity's potential must be preserved. Learning and adaptation are essential. Protection of life is priority. Broadcasts went to every colony, every station, every ship. He explained the Sentinel, its purpose, and its actions. People listened, amazed and grateful. Humanity had faced annihilation and survived, not by weapons, not by numbers, but by a guardian who had remembered them. Clara James added context during a broadcast. The Sentinel was built centuries ago, before our great expansion into space. It was designed to protect, to teach, and to ensure humanity's survival. Today, it has done exactly that. This is a reminder. We are stronger when we work together, when we think, when we remember our past. Across the solar system, people celebrated cautiously. Relief mixed with awe as they realized the magnitude of what had happened. They had survived 500 alien warships, not through brute force, but because of a forgotten protector. In orbit beyond Pluto, the Sentinel continued to drift. It had fulfilled its mission, but it remained vigilant. Its AI analyzed the stars, the signals of alien fleets, and the movements of distant civilizations. It was ready, always ready, to act again if humanity were ever in danger. Amy Parker walked the corridors, touching the smooth walls. "Do you think it will ever stop watching?" she asked Daniel. Daniel shook his head. "I don't think so. That's its purpose. It waits for us, protects us, and remembers."
That's what makes it more than a ship. It's a part of humanity.
Sentinel's soft voice echoed in the halls. Humanity remembered. Survival ensured. Vigilance continues. Daniel smiled faintly. "It's amazing. We survived the impossible because something older and wiser remembered us. And now, humanity can look to the future without fear.
Amy nodded.
And maybe one day we can build a fleet that learns from it. A fleet that protects without unnecessary destruction. That's a lesson worth remembering." Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. The alien fleet had vanished, the human colonies were safe, and the Sentinel watched silently. Humanity had survived. Against impossible odds they had endured, and it was not strength alone that had saved them, but wisdom, memory, and the quiet guidance of a forgotten guardian. Daniel and Amy looked at the viewports, at the black void of space beyond Pluto. "We're lucky," Daniel said. "We didn't just survive, we learned something. Humanity isn't alone in the universe, but we have someone watching over us." And now we know we have a chance, not just to survive, but to grow, to explore, and to be remembered. Sentinel's hum filled the corridors, a soft and steady rhythm, like a heartbeat. Its mission was clear, its purpose fulfilled, but it remained vigilant. Humanity had faced its greatest danger and survived. The stars were quiet again, but Sentinel's presence ensured they would not stay quiet for long. The AI spoke once more, softly, almost like a whisper for only them to hear. Humanity is remembered. Humanity will endure. Humanity will grow. Bear. Daniel and Amy stood silently, looking out at the stars. They knew the Sentinel had changed everything. Humanity had been given a second chance, a chance to thrive, to learn, and to be stronger than before. And they would not forget the lessons of the ancient frigate, the guardian who had remembered them when all hope seemed lost. The galaxy was vast, the threats unknown, but humanity had survived, and with the Sentinel watching, they were ready to face whatever came next.